Hello, my name is Eric, and I'm doing another one of my photography vlogs called One Body, One Lens, One Roll, One Day. I am actually in the middle of the Mansfield Reformatory, where they filmed Shawshank Redemption and Air Force One and Tango and Cash, a couple other promo videos and stuff like that. I'm keeping this kind of quiet just out of respect to the other photographers that are floating around. As I made it in as part of a Cleveland Photographic Society special event. Okay. Instead of normal one body, one lens, one roll one day, I'm going to do one body, one lens, one location one day, because I'll probably be shooting multiple rolls of film here. The way I'm going to probably break this up is I'll have a segment for each different roll, and I've got a bunch of different black and whites, some classic stuff, black and white, Kentmere, some Kodak T-Max, but I also have some interesting infrared film. And last time I was here digitally, I caught something interesting on an infrared digital camera, so I'm going to see if I can imitate it with film. So I am in the chapel area right now. I'm going to grab a roll of film, probably Rollei infrared, put it on my other tripod, and let me see what I can get. Okay, so first roll of film today, and in the chapel area is a roll of Rollei infrared. I've shot one or two of this before. This is in date to 2024, so it's close enough in date. I'm going to shoot it like normal, maybe half stop overexposure, just because I like the denser negatives. I'm going to stick it on a tripod because it is kind of a low light in here. So I'm probably going to be doing some long exposure stuff. All right, let me load it up. Let me see what I can get. Okay, so I'm all loaded up. I've got some Rollei infrared. It's 400, rated at 400 ISO. I'm setting my camera at 320. I like a little denser negative. And I'm going to burn this entire roll in this area. And then I will load up another roll of film and we'll go to a different area. All right, let me see what I can get. Okay, so at f5.6, I'm getting about a 1.5 second exposure. I just tried one with my hand on the shutter, even though I am on a tripod. But I did bring a cable release, and this would let me to fire the camera without wiggling the camera from my own hand, my own thumb on it. So I'm going to hook this up, and we'll take a couple shots that way. Most of them just typically screw right in, but some of the newer ones will plug into the side. It's more of electronic than an old mechanical one. But now I can wiggle the cable without accidentally moving the camera. All right, let me get some more shots. Switching the aperture between like maybe 2.8 and f8, otherwise I'm going to be like 20, 30 second exposures, and I'm okay with those long exposures, but I'm just going to try to keep it a little bit more normal, just a couple seconds. All right, let me keep going. Change the angle to that doorway over there. Kind of a cool light. Fan's kind of in the way, but see if I can crop it out a little bit. All right, be right back. Now, when you're framing your photos, typically, compositionally, I'll say, it's a good idea to frame it according to what it is you're shooting as far as horizontal verticals. This doorway is a vertical, so if you notice, I've rotated my 645 camera to a vertical position to get that to kind of fill the frame. If I'd shot it horizontally, I'd have extra signage and stuff like that maybe I don't want in the photo. The only exception might be if you're shooting a square format camera like a Bronick or Hasselblad, then it's designed to be cropped however which way you want. However, this is a 645, so it is slightly rectangular, so I'm shooting it in a vertical format. All right. And with that light in there, I'm getting more appropriate of a shutter speed, about 1/4 second. So I'm going to stop it down a little bit more. Let's go f11. Okay, I'm going to change positions. Again, I'm going to burn the entire roll infrared in this section, and then we'll go to another section. All right, be right back. I may not have introduced the previous camera. It's actually my 645 with a 75mm standard system. I've shot that multiple episodes before. I also brought along my 35mm Pentax Super Program with the screw mount Takumar 1.4 with the adapter. Just because of the fact I know it was going to be a low light situation, so I needed that 1.4, so maybe I can handhold this. The film I'm going to load up in the 35. These are just going to be random shots throughout. It's not going to be a per section. But the first roll I'm going to load up is a roll of the Arista 400, which I know is about 10 years expired, so I'm going to shoot it at rated at 200, just because of the fact that I think it expired in 2014, so we're over that 10-year mark. So, and it wasn't kept that well, so it wasn't refrigerated or anything like that. So I'm going to pull it back one stop. Should be good. And again, with this particular camera, my meter does not go active until I get to counter 1. So I'm at counter 1. Currently is saying, I guess I better change my ISO because it thinks I've got ISO 64 now, which I don't. I've got setting it for 200 instead of the rated 4. Yeah. So now I'm getting more like half second pointing that way just towards some shadows. But again, I'm just going to mix these shots. I'm not going to do a particular section per roll for this. So as I break it down per section in the video, I'll have a final section of just the 35mm stuff. All right. I'm in a chamber per se, just off of the chaplain area, the church area. Kind of some falling ceiling stuff, very urban decay-ish, definitely weather-worn and type stuff. So let me see what I get. Should look really cool in black and white. Try a handheld one. No way I got that one. That was more like a suck. There's no way I can handhold that. So I'm going to raise my ball head, brace it, and then tighten it so it doesn't move on me. Basically acting like a very sturdy monopod because I don't have the plate on it, and that should be okay. So when you go in these places, private property and stuff like that, make sure you've got permission and or have them sign a release, you sign a release. That way if anything happens, either party is held responsible or according to whatever the agreement is. All right, well, I'm shot 7, still going down the cell blocks. A lot of these are the same, but because of the single quarters. Now they're doubles. I can hear other photographers floating around, so keep this kind of down. I don't want to interrupt what they're doing. All right, let me get another shot here. And that is a long drop down. Okay, so this is my 15th shot. Should kick in a rewind after this. I will pick a new location and a new roll of film. There it goes. So as you heard, that was the final shot of this roll of film. And I'm going to take a couple shots with a 35, and then we'll load up a new roll. Now, because my Takumar lens does have radiation, it's the yellow, the filters, I actually might get some cool contrast stuff going on with this roll of black and white. But we'll find out when I get the roll done. All right, be right back. Well, welcome to the solitary confinement section of the prison. I'm going to be still using obviously the Pentax 645, but I'm going to go to some film photography project Wolfman film. This is a 400 speed film, and I don't think I see an expiration date, but I'm going to assume, yeah, nothing's printed on it. I'm going to assume it's at least, I'm gonna pull it back to 200. It may not be 10 years. Maybe it's like a couple years old, 5 years old or so. I want to say I picked this up a couple years ago, like right after COVID. So, so I'm gonna load it up. I'm probably still gonna shoot it at, I'll probably shoot it at 200, even though it's 400. Overexposed a bit. Nothing wrong with getting some extra contrast. Darker negatives are better than lighter negatives, so I would rather overcorrect than undercorrect. All right, I'm going to load it up, get a couple shots. Be right back. Yeah, 20-second exposure. Let's see if we can get that down a little bit. About a 6-second exposure. Okay. So inside the cell, there's some cool shadows that the light right near the camera's sending through. But because everything else is dark, it's probably better part of a 20-second exposure. That's why it took so long. It's kind of dark in here. The video camera I've got, brightens it up a bit, but no, dark, spooky, shadowy lights, really cool if you like that type of stuff. Probably another long exposure of 20 seconds or so. I'll clip some of this out. You don't have to sit here and watch me do this for 20 seconds. Okay. I'm at shot 13. I got another 3 more shots in solitary. Then we'll go find another place to shoot. Okay, as a reminder, I am shooting film photography projects Wolfman 400. I'm actually pulling it back to 200 because I don't know the age of the film. But black and white in a place like this, you get patterns of the paint peeling. You get cool shadows. You get lines. There's a lot going on here. And who knows? Maybe you catch a photo of a ghost. Not expecting it, but I did catch something weird last time I was here digitally. We're not in that section yet, but I do plan on shooting some infrared film in that section. I've got 1 or 2 more shots left here in solitary, and then let's move on to the next section. Be right back. So shooting in the shadowed area provides a couple of technical issues. 1, long exposures. Again, I have a tripod. 2, sometimes it's hard to focus. So, sometimes I got to zip past and pull it back in. Even some autofocus cameras might have issues with something in such a dark area. But I thought this was kind of a cool cabinet with some stuff on it. So let's see what I get with the black and white and the 20-second exposure. That's the end of the roll, as you can hear. Let me move to a new location, and let's see what else we can get. Okay, so I'm at the bottom of some cells. I got a couple other photographers near me, so if you hear their voices, that's fine. This time I'm loading up with some, for this section, these bottom of the cells, Kentmere pin 200. And let me load it up and let's see what we can get. Slow speed film is going to take about 10 seconds. Come on, finish the exposure. There it goes. There's a little stool in there. It looks like maybe a little punishment room or something like that. Well, it goes up.
Yeah, they go up. A lot of them are like the parapet or whatever on the outside of the building.
Yeah. Once you get past the hallway, it's not so bad, but getting in there's a little tight. So one of the rules of composition is leading lines, and looking down these cells and the floor to the next level and the pillars, it's all kind of drawing you all the way down. So I'm going to shoot vertically because it's a vertical framed type thing. If I go horizontal, then I'll get more stuff that I'd probably wind up cropping out. So I'm going to shoot vertically and probably shoot pretty deep of an f-stop, f8, f11. And it should be a nice deep with everything kind of like tunneling down. This is one of those where one of the rules of composition says don't bullseye. In this case, I am going to bullseye. That's the one rule I'm going to break. But I'm going to be using leading lines, and the pillars and the jail cells will be rolling, should be rolling on the rule of thirds. So I'm hitting multiple other composition, but I will be bullseyeing. And as long as you break only one rule at a time, you know, you can get a little artsy, creative, and it looks good, but if you break multiple rules on the same photo, sometimes it looks a little snapshot-ish, or more like a snapshot versus a photograph, I guess, if you want to call it that. All right, as you can hear, there's some other photographers floating around, got a couple still photos with them, maybe a random video clip as they walk by. You know, when you're places like this and it's a group shoot, you know, you can chat with everybody else, get ideas, get concepts, maybe hang around with them for about 15, 20 minutes, but then I go off on my own and start doing my you know, solitary shooting again. All right, let me get the shot and be right back. All right, that wasn't too bad. It was at f8. I'm going to take it to f16, and that way maybe get a comparison shot. As a third comparison shot, I'm going to get an f2.8, so I'm going to go shallow, medium, and long, and if the shot comes out, maybe I'll post all three, kind of see what depth of field does at different aperture levels. So at 2.8. Quarter of a second, still not fast enough for me to handhold, so I'm going to stick on the tripod and take that shot. It sounded pretty quick. All right, let me move down a little bit more, and let's see what else I can get. Okay, so it looks like the sun's starting to come through, so we're getting some added light, which is helping out on the full shots. But inside the cells it's still very dark, so I'm still getting those 10-second exposures, which is fine because tripod, cable release. I got one more shot in this area, and then we'll go to the next area. So let me go down just a little bit further, and that's what we can get. So don't forget to change your angle every now and then. Look up, look down, look to your left, or look right. You might be so concentrated on one thing that you're not going to notice other stuff. So there's this really cool door and bended bars right above me. So I looked up, saw it. It's like, hey, I'm going to point my camera up to it because my tripod's not going to reach that high. And I'll use my last shot on that. And that's the end of this roll, which means I get to load another roll, go to another section. I got a couple more rolls of medium format. If I burn through them all, then I'll be switching to the 35 and doing some sections in 35. But Got a couple more rolls left. Still that one section that I want to get to where I caught something weird digitally last time. I'm going to see if it's just a camera issue or whether it was really weird. All right, be right back. Okay, so that was the last shot on my Pentax Super Program. Remember, when you go to rewind, there's a release button, usually on the bottom, sometimes on the side or the front. And then I tend to hold mine in. There's about as many shots as you took, there's about as many winds as it's going to be. You'll feel some soft tension, and then eventually it will let go, and then it gets a lot easier. Pop it open. There's my roll. Load it up with another roll of film. I'll see what it is in a second. And then I'm going to move down to that interesting section that I caught last time. Maybe I'll post the interesting photo that I caught last time with what I catch this time so there's a comparison. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. I don't want to spoil the surprise. All right, be right back. Okay, so the second roll of 35mm, I'm going with some Ilford SFX. It's about 10 years expired. So instead of the normal 200 speed rated, and SFX is a semi-infrared, I'm going to pull it back to 100 for one stop overexposure, not doing any adjustments in developing or anything like that. So the overexposure should help me get back to normal negatives just because of the fact that it is an older film. All right, let me load up the medium format, move down the hall a little bit. Let's see what we can get. All right, so I just loaded up with some Agfa Aviphot near infrared Agfa black and white film. I think one of my last rolls of this batch, I'd gotten 5 of them off of eBay. And this is my last one I got. I might have one more, but I figured I'd bring it into this type of place. It's supposedly haunted, dramatic, stuff all over the place. So infrared stuff hopefully should be doing pretty good. I've already shot the roll of Rollei, a couple of the traditional black and whites. So this is my second roll, and my last roll medium format infrared. I do have a roll of 35mm infrared in the camera, and I got one more roll of 35 ready to go in case I go through that. Those of you that know Mansfield Reformatory, this is the hallway with the X, and at the end, I think, is an interrogation chair that they used in the movie. I'm going to get some shots here, dramatic shadows and stuff like that, and I'm going to go to that position, which is actually near that chair where I caught the weird thing last time. All right, be right back. Let me get my camera release. F2.8's about 3-second exposure. I'm going to do another one about F8. Just because I want the depth, which is going to turn into a 20-second exposure. This is going to be a long exposure. So supposedly this area is haunted. If you believe in such things, I will say I do because I have seen a ghost. Could tell you that story later, but not a scary ghost, just a ghost. So maybe I catch something weird here. All right, and I'm glad I brought batteries because my microphone is running out of juice. Let me change them out, be right back. No, I knew it was going to be in this area for a couple hours, so I made sure I had spare AA batteries for my mic set, for 645, which uses AA's, and rechargeable battery for the video camera. So I should have plenty of batteries. That's the first ones to go on me. Everything else is reading good. I'm about 2 hours in. All right, let me take a couple more shots and we'll go to that spot. Hold on. Okay, so this is a room from the movie. I guess they did a interrogation here. I have the camera currently in a infrared black and white mode, kind of a high ISO, so it's a little grainy. just in case I see something. Preliminary look at the spot where I caught the weird thing last time. It is not there. They did do some renovations in the area. Last time there was like a door frame there. The door frame is not there. But let's see what I can come up with. I'll do a couple shots. I'll frame the camera that way in a second. But I figured show you this cool room with the infrared black and white mode. All right, be right back. Okay, so last time I was here pointing down this hallway, the chair room is immediately to your left. If you pan the camera, it's right there. If you pan to the right, it's the hallway with the weird X pattern. Last time I was here, had the camera in the infrared black and white mode, which I just showed you, and there was a weird black splotch on that wall, and here, and here. So not sure what it was. If I can find the photos, I'll post it, but just shooting with the digital camera in the current infrared mode, I'm not seeing it. So maybe the renovations, maybe they cleaned up whatever it was, but it's kind of weird. Can't say it was a ghost, because it didn't look like ethereal or anything like that. It just kind of looked like something was on the ground coming out of this this room here, something on this wall, and something on that back wall. But back then there was a door frame here. You can kind of see the remnants of where it was. Currently it's blocked off, so they must be doing some renovations in this area. I'm going to take a couple more shots with my 645 this way, just in case I catch something with the infrared film, and then we'll keep going. All right, be right back. All right, so it looks like I'm just about done for the day. I've got 13 shots left, 13 shots taken on this current roll, so I got 3 shots left. I'm going to finish them up. So I'll be on the, I'm going to finish them up on the exterior, and I will be right back. Well, you can hear that's the end of my roll. Again, this is my vlog, one body, one lens, one roll, one day. However, today is a special episode, so it's not a one body, one lens, one roll, one day. It is a multiple body, multiple lenses, multiple rolls, but one location. So hopefully you enjoy the photos. Probably shot about 5 or 6 rolls of film here. Mostly black and white. Actually, no, all black and white. Mostly infrared, but some traditional black and white also. All right, I'll post the photos at the end of each segment. So I will introduce the segment and then post the photos. And then if you like the photos, give them a thumbs up. If you like the vlog, please subscribe. New posts come out about every Friday, every Saturday, with occasional special vlog post like this one. Comes out every now and then. Feel free to comment on your own experience at Mansfield. It's a cool ghost hunting area, supposedly haunted. So I caught something weird last time. I don't think I caught anything weird this time, but we'll see what happens with the film. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next episode.